So I recently moved out of my home in Orlando and went back to South Florida and Miami with my family, and it has been a few weeks and it's just a journey so far. Lately, I've been trying to get back into the habit of doing old things, and I've just been allowing myself the space to go ahead and enjoy the things that I know my body enjoys doing and to not put timelines or pressures on myself. Usually I go to this other spot where there's water, and there's water like up there and behind me, and a lot of mosquitoes. So I'm grateful because I'm usually not open to like sitting in this area. This is like my go-to secret place. I can't tell y'all, I'm gonna share with y'all so many hiking spots, so many places where I go, but this is my little home, my little hub. And oh my gosh, it just feels so nice. Is anyone here from South Florida? Oh my goodness, South Florida for the past few days have been like super windy, super chill, a little bit of cloudy, and I don't know, I just feel like this really good mood, like this fall type of mood is really putting me in a whole vibe. Like I'm in a vibe right now. Like I do love the sunshine, I do love sunny and hot, but something about it being cloudy and just ultra windy, oh my God. Thank you so much, just thank you so much for being Florida. So my microphone actually died, but what I was basically saying was that I really want to try, first of all, this dead hang. I forgot what it was called when I was doing it, but oh my gosh, it feels so good. It's really good for your spine, and I love to do it every morning. I haven't been able to do it since I've been back in South Florida. I'm not technically living in South Florida yet. I'm kind of like in between moving, mainly because I don't really know what I want. Throughout life, I've gone through different seasons of loving and disliking different types of animals. And so as a kid, I mainly disliked snakes and spiders. Like I was just so scared with the way that snakes would actually consume and eat. Like it was just so freaky. Spiders, I mean, most people are scared of them, right? But nowadays, like I've become more accepting of predatory animals and of, I guess, hardcore murder. I know that sounds weird, right? But that's basically what animals do, right? Snakes have this cycle that they go through where they shed their skin. And, that's basically symbolism for a renewal. They're starting fresh and new in a new body. And their body is their home. So their home is all new and fresh, kind of like spring cleaning. But another aspect of snakes that I like, of the snake energy, is this aspect of also renewal, which is death. The interesting thing about rattlesnakes is that they don't know how to control their venom when they're babies. So when they're babies, they're constantly spewing out venom, hitting everything in their way, killing things unintentionally, or just hitting things with their venom unintentionally. And I thought that was a symbol for life of people when they're going through puberty or their teenage years. You're just kind of like, you don't know how to use your words, you don't know how to use your body, you don't know what life is, and you're just kind of trying to figure it out, and everything's just going everywhere. The farm that I ended up driving to, it ended up not even being a farm, it was just a grocery store. Typically the farms are open, near here at least, are just open Saturdays and Sundays, those farmers market. But I really like going to the farms, but that's going to take me a little bit of a drive to get to today, so I might go Sunday. Right now I just found a coffee shop. Look at me, I'm in South Florida, and this is what I do when it's, I don't know, it's probably 70 degrees. I'm not cold, but I just feel like this makes me look a little cuter. So I have this. And I just feel like I wanted to go to that farm, but I couldn't. It's okay. So I'm gonna get some chai latte. I've been so obsessed with chai latte, and if you don't know chai latte, make it at home too. It's black tea with cinnamon and some like almond milk or oat milk. Oat milk lately has been making my stomach hurt. I don't know if it's the place that I get it from or oat milk in general, but it's also not healthy to eat oats and grains, I believe. Like I feel like that's just a propaganda marketing. Anything ultra processed like oats, rolled oats, and all that stuff, it's like not good for you. So I'm gonna just tell them almond milk, even though I know that the almond milk that they give is also ultra processed. But watch, when I get my van or my new place, whichever I decide, I'm gonna get those $50 like nut milk machines, because it's gonna be totally worth it. You're gonna be saving so much more money, and it'll be healthier. So yeah, I'm gonna go in. It's a really good chai latte here. So yeah, see you in. Low key, I also didn't eat today. It's about 1:30, so that's gonna be kind of like breaking my fast. I don't know about you all, but I intermittent fast on and off throughout the year. I just think it's healthy for you. Lately, people have been telling me not to because I'm a woman, and that just makes me like, no. Are you able to hear me? Okay. It might be my connection. Wasn't expecting to film this, but I was reading this book, and it's so beautiful because I don't know, tell me if this speaks to you in any way, but it pretty much says that humans think that what we see and what we think in front of us are reality, but really it's all perception, which is pretty understandable, right? It's our perception of what we think, right? But then it goes on to say is that lack of knowing is not because we don't have the information accessible to us, it's because we don't have a way to yet interpret the information and ask the right questions. So many times people, they get limited or wrong answers to their questions because their questions that they're asking are not the right questions. And we're not asking the right questions because we lack the know-how of how to actually have an increased viewpoint or a larger perception than what we currently have to even go outside of this realm of what we already know based off of our experiences in our life and our past to even ask a question that we wouldn't even have thought of. So I'm excited to read this book because what it's really saying is like, you don't know what you don't know, and because what you don't know is causing you to not even be curious to the extent that you can be curious and to become aware of the things we don't yet know. And so this book's talking about opening up ourselves to that energy so we can begin to see things we usually don't see. And the reason why I brought this up is because it started to remind me of like a few job interviews I had like months ago. I don't even remember their names or the name of the company, but it's so funny. They're like, oh, well, we're kind of looking for, okay, so the most recent guy, he was the nice guy, but he was like, this role is really important because we're looking for someone more quantitative. And what he means by that is like, he wants someone data driven, someone who's good with numbers, who can like very, very much in the masculine, logical mind state, right? And then I was like, okay, well, I actually when I'm working, I'm very data driven. The thing that I was thinking after I hung up from the call, it's like, well, he says that he's looking for someone who's driven by numbers, but he didn't really ask any questions to get a quantitative answer. So he said, this role is very quantitative. I don't know if I see that. But he didn't really ask me any quantitative based numbers, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't ask the right questions to get the right answers. And it made me go in a whole loop of thinking about, like, it's so interesting. Maybe he went into the call and once he saw me, he didn't even believe that I was capable of giving a quantitative answer. And maybe that's what subconsciously led him to not even seeking it. Or because he, like this book says, understanding does not proceed simply from examining data. It comes from examining data in a particular context. Data is useless until we know what it means. So, just thought that was interesting. Look at this view, like, oh my gosh. I love it here. Today feels good. I wasn't planning on recording at all. Like, my hair is still in braids. This is how I go to sleep. But usually, like, I usually just sit and read. I was sitting and reading, but then the mosquitoes were biting me up. So I actually just started walking and reading, and then I literally saw a girl who was sitting and reading. I was like, oh my gosh, sis. Like, we're literally out here doing the same thing, like literally just reading in this windy day. It's so windy here and it feels so good. Just a beautiful, beautiful boardwalk here in South Florida. I never go this deep because there's so many trails here, so I usually go on the floor trail where I'm walking in the actual mud, but I wanted to keep it clean today. Have to go pick up my niece.